Okay, so hello and welcome back to another Unity video. In this one I'll be doing another update of my game and showing you a bit behind the scenes as well of the stuff I've just done and what I'm currently working on right now. It's pretty late at night, so after this I'm going to go off, but tomorrow I already know what I want to get done. So anyway, since last time, obviously I can't remember exactly what I've done since last time, so I'll cover the things I've done most recently going backwards. So the thing I'm working on mainly right now is are the projectiles. So instead of, I used to just have like messy projectile scripts. I had loads of them, and it worked, but it was very messy, and I couldn't really do much with them. Like, it was very awkward to add new features to them. So I've made a base class for projectile, and then made useful functions. So like one of them is like can apply slow. One is apply damage over time, deal damage, whatever. And then whenever I make a new thing, I'll make a class, a script called like fire blast attack, and it'll inherit from projectile, and then it'll just run the functions that it needs to, and then it can add any specific functionality it needs to have. Like as for fire blast, it's just a projectile that hits and does damage, so there's not really anything to add. Obviously it applies a dot, like so. Whereas the other abilities like rock hurl and arcane missiles, they have like homing and like special spawning on for certain things, so that they needed their own scripts. So last time I had the fire blast, I think I had it working. It hit and applied a dot. Simple, has explosion, whatever. Now I've added the arcane missiles. Now I used to have them. If you've watched my videos for a long time, I did have this as a spell. The visuals are quite messed up. That's just because of post-processing. But I will get around to fixing that when I change it from a trail renderer. I think it's just the trail renderer messing up, but I'll change that to a particle thing anyway, particle system, so I can have it looking like this. So the basic thing about these is that they fire multiple, they're low cost, low mana, and they home in on enemies. So if I fire like a few over here maybe, they might not home in on the enemy because they're too far away. Okay, a few of them were close enough. But obviously if I fire them like that, then they're all close enough to home in. I'll obviously show a bit behind that. But how that works is it basically stores a current transform or like enemy to go to, and then while it is null, so while obviously there is no enemy, then it'll just keep moving in a straight line and checking every like half a second, is there a new enemy in our range, is there a new enemy in our range, and then as soon as there is, it'll add that enemy as the current enemy and it'll home in on it. So obviously it just keeps working. So if I kill this enemy, then the other ones, they'll just keep going into the ground or whatever direction they were traveling in, and then if another enemy comes into range, then it'll home in on them as well. Then the rock hurl, I'm not going to bother starting again. I'll just quickly just put like a few more test guys in here just to show this off. So the rock hurl ability, I've had that for a long time as well. So you click on the earth. Obviously in the actual game, all ground that's like grass or earth will be earth. But for the sake of this, I've just made the normal ground just be green and earth be brown, just so it's easier to see. So click on the earth and I can spawn a rock. Click on the grass and I can't. And so at the moment I've made it so they don't despawn. Obviously I will make it so that they despawn, but I plan on making a spell soon that like uses the rock fragments on the ground. So if you use a spell and there's enough rock fragments, you can like do something with them, whether it's like fire the rock fragments at an enemy or like blow them all up or something. Just I leave your ideas and I'll decide which is best, and I'll also be thinking of my own ideas and what works well. But we'll try and make some really cool rock ability with this. Maybe even like make the rocks form into a certain shape and then like hit the enemy or something. Just whatever's cool, I'll try and do it. Might as well push the limits. Now the added benefit to what it used to be. So yeah, it used to be homes in on the closest one. Now I've made it so that if you're standing on ground, because I thought from a gameplay point of view, you don't want to always be just looking at the ground. It's pretty not really fun gameplay. So to make it more actually interesting, so long as you're standing on the ground, if you click on an enemy in range, it'll home on that person. So even though this guy's closer, if I click on that one, it should go onto the one that I'm clicking on, right? So that works now. So yeah, obviously I can click on this one, not in range, there. So it spawns out of the ground around me and goes onto the one I click on. So rather than the closest, obviously I can choose priority, which is better. But obviously the benefit of having it also come out of the ground is that I can like be over here and spawn it and stuff. Yeah, as I said, obviously at the moment it's a big clutter. Luckily it doesn't make me lag at this point. I've also made it so these rock fragments don't collide with each other because that caused problems originally. Obviously they still collide with everything else and me, but they don't collide with each other, which is fine. Now, I fixed jumping as well. One jumping problem I had was that I used a raycast down to check, you know, am I on the ground? But it caused problems with me being on, like, a ledge like this, where the base of the character was slightly over the edge. I could never jump. It's still a bit iffy anyway, but what I've used is I've used a sphere collider. I still need to tweak the numbers a little bit. But what it does is it does a sphere cast below the enemy instead of a ray cast. So it like puts an imaginary sphere below me and says, is that touching anything? And if it is, then it lets me jump. So it works. Kind of works. It's still not perfect, actually. I do need to kind of improve that a little bit. Like if I'm far enough over the edge, it doesn't really let me jump until I touch the ground again. I will focus on fixing that before moving on because it's very annoying. But yeah, obviously I just love this as well. It's so fun to use. So yeah, we got the fire blast and we got the earth, and then we can click on that one and fire it there. I don't know, I think the spell system's coming along really well considering I've only got 3 spells so far. Obviously it's going to be great when I get to make the rest of them. Now, yeah, the damage does scale with points. I haven't got the numbers yet. The numbers are in the code. I don't display it because, I mean, obviously I can't remember off the top of my head the actual scaling either. But yeah, I'm also considering getting rid of the XP orb floating to me and just having a instant XP gain. Now, there's one thing I actually haven't tried yet, which I know it sounds like something stupid that I should have tried in the past. Let me just get rid of these rock thingies. I should have probably made sure that it works when I level up. I might actually find a bug right now because whenever I test, I don't actually try and necessarily kill everything. I just kind of, you know, test, does something work, and then I stop, and then I do the fixes. So, yeah, let me just kill this guy and then see what happens. So if I kill him and it levels me up now, what's going to happen? Ah, well, there's a bug. Well, I mean, it's better finding it now than never. So my health didn't increase. My mana increased to 14,000. But my XP went up to 120, which I think is right. So, hey, that's something to care about next. At least I have, like, tons of mana. Yeah, I need to fix that. But that's the best thing about doing these videos. Every single time, I always manage to find bugs and things that I never considered when I'm just working on my own. As I'm speaking out loud to like you guys, then I realize problems that I need to fix. But, you know, that works. Now, my actual next thing on the list to do is fix the bow projectile. So rather than it being... where'd the arrows gone? No. Rather than it being... it's not going to work, is it? Nope. Because I've basically deleted most of the script from it. What happens at the moment with it is that it's a collider on the arrow, and then obviously it flies for a bit and it hits something and it says, you know, stick to the thing. I've got code for sticking. The problem is, because it's a collider and it's a capsule collider, which is slightly rounded, and it'll do the same for a cube collider, is that it sometimes doesn't hit on the point of the actual arrow, and it has weird like sticking and rotation when it parents itself. So what I've decided to do is change it from a collider to a raycast, and the raycast starts from the center of the arrow and it goes forwards a bit, so that basically, as you know, raycasts don't have a thickness; they just are a straight line that has like no dimension, it has no depth. Well, you know what I mean. It has no thickness, so it can't accidentally collide with something that isn't right on the tip. So that's fine. And then once it says, "Yep, there's something there," then we can just stop and then parent to it. So that system should work fine, and obviously in the next video I'll get back to you saying whether it's worked. And wow, this is pretty OP having a 14,000 mana at level 2. I need somewhere of displaying level. Did I already implement that onto here? No, that's an update to the level either. So yeah, there's quite a bit to go over, but you know, still making good progress. So what is it? We've got the arrows to do. Yep, sword. Obviously, we don't actually have the hands are temporary at the moment, and we don't have elbows properly. So the first swing, and then if we hold it down, you can actually do like a second part attack, and I'm going to add more. Now, obviously, having no elbow doesn't really help much, but it works. Obviously, if there's an enemy, I could show you. I mean, I could just drag him in again, to be honest. It would that would work. So we can swing, swing, stab, swing, swing. It doesn't really have much knockback right now, but it works. I think everything still works, to be honest. I haven't taken any damage to check the health potions, but I'm sure if I actually went to my player stats and like set the health, Yeah, why is it 14,000? If I set health to like 50 and then no, I can't do that either. Hey, so there's plenty of bugs to fix actually, because actually now that I've shown basically everything, I'm gonna go through a bit of the code. So I have changed practically every script because I got to the point where I knew I had to do a code review and go back over it and change loads of stuff because it's really inefficient and whatever. Like I should be putting these into folders right now, but they're just kind of temporary things anyway. They're just post-processing for the test scene and the ground material. Who cares? But as I say, for scripts, I need to do projectile because arrow projectile is currently all commented out, I think, and that's only part of it anyway. Arcane missile projectile. Yeah, what it does is it basically says well, there's no current enemy. Check every 0.5 seconds. Get all the colliders in the area that were within a radius of 5 from our position. Then we make a list of enemy health, and we make this kind of list because it's changeable. The size is changeable. Then we loop through all objects we collided with, and if it has the enemy health on it, so if it's an enemy basically, then we add it to this list of enemies, and we just pick a random enemy between basically pick a random enemy in this list of enemies and just say that's the one that we're going to go for. In reality here I could just say like go for the index 0 in the list and it would just go for the first one found. I'm pretty sure that list is in like distance order, but it might not be. I could make it in distance order easily, but basically that just picks an enemy that it homes in on. It's fine, it works. And then every frame, if we have an enemy to home in on, then it rotates to face it, and I can tweak the like magnitude of rotation. And then the velocity is the forward vector of the projectile, because if it's rotating to face where it needs to go, its local like forward direction is always the right way to go. So as long as we rotate it correctly, this can just be forward times speed, which works. And then obviously if there's no enemy, then we just want to go basically forwards. So I could just put that part like outside of the we could just close that and then set that there, because that's going to happen regardless, just saves a line or whatever. So that's fine. That's one. It's not a bug fix, just a niceness fix. And then this just overrides the base class projectile. Now I'm not going to bother going for everything, and that's whatever. One thing I might want to quickly go over is one problem we had in the thing was when I leveled up. So I've not actually gone inside the player stats for a long time. So the mana multiplier. So yeah, when we level up, the experience should go to 120, the health should go to 130, and the mana should go to 140. I just pick those numbers randomly. I can tweak those multipliers. So for some reason, when I level up the next level mana, so where's level up? I must have a function. Yeah. What are we doing here then? Now so that's a float, and max mana's a float. We're timesing by, so the current mana times by 1 point. Yeah, the current mana times by 1.4. Well, the max mana, sorry. Times by 1.4. Yeah. Wait a second. If I go to the player stats, I didn't actually tweet these numbers, did I? No. So what I'm doing is I think I'm like doing too much multiplication here. Because if I'm saying that our current mana times by the multiplier, yeah, why am I multiplying that by the max mana then? Because that's just basically timesing the mana by the mana, or the mana by the new mana. Surely I should just set the max mana equal to that. I'll sort that off camera. I really can't think right now. It's basically midnight. But if there is anything else from the game you want to see, then be sure to ask. Now, obviously, I'm not going to show every bit of code. I'm not going to give it out publicly because it's my game I'm working on. I eventually plan on publishing it. Obviously, that'll be in years' time. But I'm going to keep working on it all the time. Obviously, give ideas for content to add or tips for how to do certain things if you know a better way. Because obviously, I'm completely self-taught, so it's not like I know the best way to do everything. But yeah, so my job right now for yeah, make my bow script know what damage over time the arrow has, if any, because obviously I might have fire arrows, ice arrows, whatever. I've actually done the rock hurl once. I can get rid of that. Change that to a raycast. Yeah, make sure it's all working properly with sticking and gliding. Finish all the tier 1 spells. Yeah, I should really make an object pool for missiles for the sake of. I should do that for the. Well, I don't know if it would. No, it wouldn't really work for the rock. Rock smash, rock pearl. Yeah, create some visuals, whatever. So that's fine. I'm sorry. I'm really tired. I shouldn't have done this video right now, but I've decided I've not done a video in a while because I've been in the last 2 or 3 days I've been working on this and redoing like all my scripts to make them much more efficient. Like for some reason when I started writing the spell trees, I decided to have fire spell tree script and water spell tree script, but now I just have a spell tree script for everything, and I made so much of the code more efficient than it already was and just like managed it better. So I feel quite happy that I've got through it all, but the sad thing is because all I did was make it more efficient, there isn't actually any new features or content. So it doesn't seem as different as last time, but I've done a lot of work on it. And obviously now it's a case of actually doing fun stuff that you can see the differences of, and you know, there's actually have visual things to show, like the arrows working and the spells working and all this lot. So I hope you stick around, hope you like these videos. Back to tutorials after today, because obviously I'd only do these videos every like week or like every 4 or 5 days or whatever. So yeah, thanks to you that actually watch these videos and stick around to see what I'm doing and how it's going. But yeah, if you haven't already, obviously feel free to like and subscribe, join our Discord server in the description. But apart from that, thanks for watching and goodbye.